Okay, so let's start from here. Any idea what is interface? We'll discuss the basic concepts of interface. Okay, so we'll see the detailed discussion in our second chapter. Okay, so in first chapter we'll just have an introduction of all those stuff. So what is interface? Any idea? What is an interface? What is an interface? Okay, so let's try to, I'll give you one scenario. Okay, I want to prepare one big building. Then what is the first step I should do? What is the first step? Any idea? Before preparing one big building, what you should do? What is the first step you should do? What? What? Tell me. What? You told something. So I have to get some plot where I want to prepare the building. Okay. So before getting plot, also you have to do something. Okay. So what you have to do? You have to plan out the things. Okay. So plan the things. Okay. So planning is the first step. What you do before doing anything. It's not about preparing building or anything. Okay? So here also whenever you want to code something, you want to plan something. Okay. So whenever you want to create any of the class, you must have one blueprint. What is blueprint? Blueprint is nothing but it is something like if you want to prepare a big building, you will plan out the things in your pen and paper. You will have paper where you will do, here I will have security area, here I will have some sort of parking area, here I will have playground. All those things you will plan in your paper, right? So similarly, interface is nothing but planning, basically. Okay. So what is interface? Interface is nothing but blueprint of the class to be implemented. Okay. So what is an interface? Interface is nothing but blueprint of the class which we are going to implement. Okay. So let's try to understand. If you want to prepare one big building, what you do? You will plan something like, what is your plan? Like we are talking about get security area. Okay. Similarly, you want to have something like get parking. Okay. Then what do you want to? Suppose you want to have get playground. So these are the three tasks which you want to have in your planning, basically. Okay. So now try to understand. Okay. If you are planning, it does not mean you are doing the task. Are you able to understand? It is just your hypothetical way. You are thinking that I can do these things, but you are not doing. Similarly, it's inside interface. We will not do anything. Okay. So it will have some of the methods which are those will be unimplemented. Because in planning we don't implement anything, all the things will be unimplemented, right? So similarly here also in interface all the methods will be unimplemented. Okay, so try to understand. Suppose there are two types of methods. We have got two types of methods. Okay, so what are those methods? One is called implemented method. Okay, and another one is unimplemented method. Okay, how will you identify unimplemented methods? How will you identify unimplemented method? You will have semicolon at the end of your method. Okay, something like if you are having one method called public void test. If I have semicolon, what does that mean? This is unimplemented. It's not doing the implementation. It will be done by somebody else, basically. Okay, and what is implemented? If I write the same thing here, public void test, and I'll write the logic here, then what sort of method is it? It is your implemented methods. Okay, so there are two types of methods which are having. One is called implemented, another is called unimplemented methods. Okay, and typically whenever we have unimplemented methods, we have one of those keyword here called abstract. So abstract is the keyword which is used for unimplemented methods. So all abstract methods are unimplemented. All abstract methods are unimplemented. So how to identify an unimplemented method? You will have semicolon. This semicolon will be there at the end of your method. Okay, so if you want to prepare one big building, you are planning. So tell me, does planning means implementation? No, you are not implementing. Means you are having the blueprint, you are not implementing, right? So similarly here also, what we will come to know is interface does not contain implemented methods. Okay, it contains only unimplemented methods. Okay, so interface contains only unimplemented. Unimplemented means you will have semicolon. This semicolon at the end of the method. So suppose if you want to prepare a big building, then what you want to do? You want to have the planning. So I will give the name called building planning. Okay, and in building planning, what all things are there? The one which you have discussed. These are the three things which you are doing it. Okay, so you are not writing any logic. You are just having the plan to have these methods. Okay, so whenever you don't have any logic, what is the one? It would be your interface. Okay, so let's try to go and create one interface here in our Eclipse. Suppose I want to have a building. So before building, you want to plan out the things. So we'll create one of those. We'll create one of those interface. So how to create interface? This is the option by which we'll create an interface. Okay, then building planning. We will just finish building planning. Okay, now what are things you want to plan? You want to plan security area. So are you able to see what is happening? It is having semicolon at the end of by default. Okay, so similarly, what are the other methods which we are talking about? Here is two more methods: get parking and get playground. These are the three methods which are available inside interface. So what is the special feature about it? You will have semicolon. Okay, Let's try to have some methods. Inside animal you are having one method called walk. If I'll try to put this method here, will it work? Will it work? It is not working. Why? Because walk is implemented methods. You cannot have implementation inside interface. As I told, planning is blueprint, right? So if you want to work with it, what you have to do? You have to remove it and put semicolon, then it will work. Okay, so that's what we have discussed here. I mean, it contains only unimplemented methods. Okay, now try to understand, if you will have planning in your paper and you have kept it in your pocket, then is it of any use? It is of no use, right? If I have plan in my pocket, there is not something like gene or jadoo or maybe some magic which will come and prepare that building, right? It will not happen, right? So what you have to do? You have to give your planning to some contractor, right? Contractor will ask, I need that, blah blah blah, I need. Okay. So similarly here also, interface is of no use if you will not give it to any class. So who is the contractor here? Class is your contractor. Okay. So typically how we will write here? We will write the code something like public class contractor. Here we use another word called implements. Okay. And what is the thing I want to implement? I want to implement building planning. Got it, right? So this is the contractor whom I am giving my work. Okay. Now tell me, is it correct way? Is it correct way? Yes, it is correct way. But here is some problem. What is the problem? Any idea? I mean, anything you can think of? There is one problem. Okay. So problem is what is happening. See, if you have given your planning to contractor, if you have given your blueprint to contractor must have to implement all the planning which you had given, right? Are you able to understand? So similarly here also, if you are giving the planning to contractor, then it is an agreement between you and contractor that everything must be implemented. So what contractor will have to do? Contractor will have to implement all the methods. I mean, he will have to implement all these methods, okay, with some logic. So how will do? He will write some logic here. He will prepare security area, he will prepare parking, okay, and he will prepare this playground as well. Got it, right? If I'll remove it, tell me, is it correct? No. Why? Because it is agreement. You can tell contractor, hey, I have given you these things, you did not do, there is some problem. Okay, so contractor must have to do each and every task what you have assigned to him or her. Okay. So similarly here also, we want to prepare one contractor. So we'll create one contractor. How to create? Class contractor. Then finish. And what to do? Implements building planning. Okay. So if we'll have building planning, see, here is some problem. Why this problem is? Because okay. So if you have got this, there is some, why? Because contractor is not doing anything, right? Okay, so he will have to implement all the things which are already done. So what he will do? We will have to do, just move your cursor. It will tell you, see, are you able to see? Add unimplemented methods. Just click on this. Automatically it will implement all this. Security area, parking, playground, walk we have added in our planning, right? So only it is coming here. Okay. If any one of those not there, then see, is it working? It's not working. Are you able to understand? Because this is an agreement, right, between your contractor and your whatever planning. Okay. So that's what. So you will have to implement all the methods which are there basically. Okay. So yeah. So that's why. So now try to understand. I mean, here, as we know, interface contains all the methods are unimplemented, right? And unimplemented methods are called abstract methods. Okay. So that's why we call interface is 100% abstract super. So what is an interface? Interface is nothing but 100% abstract. Why it is 100% abstract class? Because all the methods are abstract in interface. All the methods are abstract in interface. So only these are called 100% abstract class. Okay, and interface does not provide the logic of the implementation. Who will provide the implementation? Who will provide the logic? The class which will implement it. Okay. The class will provide the logic. Okay. And what is the keyword we use here in interface? Implements. Okay. Implements. Okay. जाओ जाओ next class. Next. I told him. Okay. So class will provide us the logic. Okay. Now be very careful whenever you are writing implements. I'll just tell you the way how you can use your words. Okay. So if I have class left side, right side class. So what is the keyword we use? Tell me. Extends. Class. Inheritance, which you have already seen, right? If I'll have class right side interface, what is the keyword we use? So now we have seen, right? So implements. Okay. There are two more scenarios which are left. Tell me, what are those scenarios? Interface, both side interface. This is one of the scenario. And what is the last one? Interface class. These are the four combination we can have, because we are having common pair, right? 2. Okay. So factorial 2 will be 4. Okay. So here what is the keyword we use? Interface. Then we use extends. So interface will extend another interface. It does not implement. Okay. So because most of the time what we'll have, we have interface, so we thought it would be our implements, but it is not implements. If it is interface, then it will extend. Okay. And tell me the last one, what the keyword we should use? Any idea? Implements or extends? Extends or implements? Tell me. Any idea? Okay. So it's not possible. Okay, so it is not possible. Okay, so try to understand what is happening over there is because interface is planning. Can non-done things take care of done things? No. Able to understand what I am talking about is here done thing. So it can take care of done things. Done thing it can take care of non-done things because interface is not done. It is in planning basically. Na? So because in planning you cannot put anything which is already done. Are you able to know? So that's why it is not possible. This is not possible. Na? So I mean no word. I mean it will not work out basically. Okay. So that's what class extends class implements interface. Okay, interface extends interface. Interface nothing. He cannot work with the class basically. Okay. So whenever you are having similar things, we will use extends because both sides similar, so extends. Here also both sides similar, so extends. Just remember both sides similar, then extends is the keyword which we used. Okay. So let's quickly look into this. So what is interface? Interface is nothing but 100% abstract superclass that defines the method a subclass must support. Okay. And what is the keyword we use? Implements keyword we use. Okay. And it does not provide the logic for the method that needs to be provided in the class which will implement the interface. Okay. So we don't have logic inside interface. Okay. Who will provide the logic? The class which will implement must provide the logic for it. Okay. Yeah, let's try to understand one very simple thing. Okay, so legal identifiers. Okay, so I will write some of the identifiers. Tell me whether those are correct or wrong. I mean, this you might have already studied in your college days, but for time being, we will try to understand. Okay, so I will write test. Is it correct identifier? Identifier means name given to a variable or something. Okay, so tell me test is correct. Yes, it's correct, right? So something like I can write int test, something else. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. Okay, now if I'll write something like test 9, is it correct? Is it correct? Yes. Okay, if I'll write 9 test, is it correct? Is it correct? I mean, we'll check it after some time. Okay, so this is coming from C++. C++ also I mean will support in this way only variables. Okay, now if I'll write something like underscore test, is it correct? Okay, or else if I'll use something like I'll like this test, is it correct? Or maybe I'll write like this, is it correct? Are you able to know what I'm talking about? Is we want to see all the scenarios. If I write like this, is it correct? Okay, so we want to see, I mean, whether those are correct or not. Okay, yeah. So what is the, I mean, what is the rule of identifier? What is the rule? What is the rule? Okay, so very simple rule. Okay, so identifier must start with letter. Okay, it must start with letter, or it can start with underscore. Okay, or it can start with dollar. These are the only thing which are possible at your first place. Okay, so these are the only thing which are possible in the first place. It cannot start with number. It can never start with number. So identifier must start with letter or underscore or connecting character. It cannot start with any other thing. It cannot start with number or any other thing. So tell me, test is correct? Yes. Why? Because it is starting with a letter. Is it correct? Test 9? Yes. Why? Because it is starting with T. Is it correct? No, why? Because it is starting with number. Is it correct? Yes, underscore is fine. This one is correct? No. Okay, this one is correct? No, because it is special symbol. Okay, is this correct? Yes, it's correct. Okay, if you want to see whether it is correct or not, go over there in animal. Okay, so we are already have this, so we just will try to use it. Test. Is it working? Yes, it's working. If I'll use test 9, is it working? Yes, it's working. Okay, if I'll try to use 9 test, suddenly it will fail. See, it is failing. Okay, if I'll use underscore test, is it is okay, no problem. Okay, similarly if I'll use something like this, if I'll use this some special symbol, then see again it is failing. Not this one. Try to see this. Is it failing? Yes, it is failing. Why? Because it is starting with some sort of thing. Will it fail? No. Why? Because I can have first letter as your so it is correct. So very simple rule what we are talking about, must start with a letter, currency character or underscore. It cannot start with number. Very simple rule. Okay, and naming convention which we have already seen in last class. So tell me what is the naming convention. If it is a noun, okay, so to have class. Class will have, what are those? This will be your noun. Interface, tell me. Interface will have adjective. Most of the time what is the keyword will be there? Able. Only throwable is not an interface, all the other level are interface. Then tell me method. Method will be your verb plus something, I mean anything will be there. Okay, and if it is a constant, what will be capital, full caps. Okay, and class and interface, first letter capital, class and interface. Okay, and all will follow one of those notation called camel case. Camel case means new word first letter capital. Okay, so that's what is mentioned over there. So class and interface name should start with capital letter considering camel case notation, and class name would typically be nouns. Okay, and interface will be adjective, something like serializable, able will be there. So tell me which are legal, which are not legal. First one is legal, tell me. First one is legal, underscore. Is it correct? Yes. Second one? Yes. Third one? No. Okay. Fourth one? Yes. Fifth one? No. It cannot start with number, right? Sixth one? No. It cannot start with hyphen. Okay. Seventh one? No. Many underscore are there. Underscore. So fine, no problem. It is starting with underscore, right? So it is no problem. Okay. Yeah. Eighth one, last one. Sure. Last one is fine. No. What is the problem? Correct. Okay, so try to understand here. Variable name is fine, but if you see here I is capital. So what I mean to say is, if you write in Java, this one is not, it is not equal to this one. Okay, why it is not equal? Because Java is case sensitive language. So what we understood here is Java is case sensitive. I mean, you should not write small and capital. Both are different in Java. Java is case sensitive language. So if you try to write here this one as capital I, it will not work. See, it is failing. Okay, so you should always write I as small. Okay, so that's what we understood here is. Okay, this is your result. This is not correct. This is not correct. Why? Because I is capital. Okay, and method names will typically be verb noun combination, verb plus something. Variables will be short meaningful names. Some name will be there. Constant will be always your uppercase, means capital letter. Okay, and most of the constants will have some modifier called public, static, final. We will study what does public, static and final means, but most of the constant will have this modifier. What are those? Public, static, final. Okay, So whenever there is some constant, it will have all those. Okay, yeah. Now let's try to understand one of those things are called Java Bean standards. Java Bean properties, or you can say Java Bean standard. So what are the Java Bean standard? We have already seen this. We are revisiting once again. So if you remember, I mean, if we have some of those variables called int number of legs, then typically we usually have getters and setters, and these getters and setters are called Java Bean properties or Java Bean standard. And what is the shortcut to create getters and setters? Alt Shift S. Okay, Alt Shift S. So we'll go here in Eclipse. Suppose animal is having, I'll just give name number of legs. I want to create getters and setters. So how will do? Alt Shift S. Automatically will come. You choose this generate getters and setters. You select all. Okay, so automatically these getters and setters will be created. Okay, and if I am having boolean, then how it will do that? Tell me. Is. Okay, so if I am having some variable called running, then how it will be created? Tell me. Is running or set running. Okay, so we'll do this. If we'll have some boolean running, let's try to create getters and setters. Alt Shift S, generate getters and setters. Okay, so are you able to see here we are getting is. Okay, so whenever you have a boolean, it would be your is. Other than boolean, all will be your get set. Simple. So that's what is mentioned. If property is not a boolean, then getter setters will have get and set as prefix. Okay, and if it is a boolean, then you can have is or get. Both will be there. Okay, so get set sort of thing. And why get set we will study in encapsulation. Encapsulation is one of the mechanism which we will study. That time it will be more clear. Okay. So source file declaration rule. First, what is source file? In our Java, what is source file? .java is your source file. So typically in Java, what we have? We will have .java. In C++, what is our source file? It would .c or cpp. This is your source file. When we compile, what we generate? .exe file. And this is not platform independent, which I have already seen. Okay. But in Java, if we compile it, we get .class file, and .class file is platform independent. You can run in everywhere. I mean, there is no restriction over there. That's why Java is called platform independent language. And do we have .exe file in Java? No, we never have .exe file. We always have .class file. Okay, so no .exe file in Java. Okay, so what is our source file? .java file is our source file. So let's try to understand. I mean, there are some restrictions which we should apply to get this .java file. There are some restrictions which we should apply. You cannot have .java file, I mean, randomly. Okay, so there are some things which we have to take care of. Okay, so what is the first rule? Try to understand. There can be only one public class in .java source file, until unless the class is not enough. So what I am to say is, if you are writing one of the class called public class, test class. So what is the class name? Test class. I cannot have one more public class here. So public class. Okay, trial something else. And both the things are in the same file. Got it right? So what I'm going to say is I cannot have more than one public class. If you want to have more than one public class, you have to remove this like this. If you want to have more than one class, then you have to remove this. Got it, right? So in a Java source file, how many public classes are possible? Only one. Okay, until and unless your class is not inner. What is inner class? Inner class is nothing but class inside class. So see here, it is here, right? So class inside class is called inner. In this case, you can have public, no problem. Got it what I am talking about? Okay. So let's try to go over there. Suppose I am having one of the class called animal here. I want to create one more class here called maybe public class test class. Can I create it? No, it is not possible. Why? Because public. If I remove it, it is possible. No problem. It is fine. No problem. Okay. This is not an inner class. Inner class means this is, see, this is outer class. Okay. So if you want to make inner class means class inside class. This is the last line of your class. We are so in this case I can have public, no problem at all. This is fine for us. Okay, so that's what is mentioned in the first rule. What is the first rule? There can be only one public class in .java source file until unless class is not inner. So in case of inner class, you can have more than one public class also. And inner class means class inside class. Okay. Now second one is can have more than one non-public class in a Java source file. So what does that mean? I can have more than one non-public class. So something like here, it is not possible. I can have more than one non-public class. So something like this one. Okay, I can remove this also, no problem. So what I mean to say is I can have one class Java source file without any public class. It is fine. But if public class is there, only one should be there. Okay. So what I'm going to say is if I can have I can have n number of classes here. Something like 1, 2, 3, no problem. But if I am making this, so got it, right? So I can have more than one non-public class, but public class then one non-public class. So one public class is possible. Okay, yeah. And third rule is if there is public class in a file, then name of that file would be class name. Okay. So what I'm to say is suppose if my class name, public class name is animal, then what is the file name? File name should be animal only. Okay. So let's try to go here and give something else. Is it possible? No. See here, it is getting some problem. Why the problem is? Because public class is your test class and file name is animal. So if you want to make it fine, what you have to do? You have to make this file name as, what should be the file name now? Tell me. Test class. Okay, so I'll go here and make this animal to test class. Now I'll go here, I'll just do F5 to refresh. See, now there is no problem. See, test class, it is working. So file name must be same as your public class name. If I want to do again, I want to make it to animal class, will it work? It will not work. So now if you want to make it work, whatever, you have to make your class as animal. Okay, so I'll go here, I will make the name of this animal. Now I will do refresh. What is the one? F5 to refresh. So it is working fine, no problem. So this is your third rule. So if there is a public class in a file, then name of that file must be class name. Okay, and file with no public class can have any name. So what I mean to say is, if you don't have any public class, then any name you can choose, no problem. Okay, so suppose if I want to give test class 1, no problem. You go over there, make it to, it will work. There is not an issue. See, F5 test class 1, no issues. Issue will come when you are having one public class. So then file name must be same as your class name. If you don't have any public class, no problem. You choose any name, give it to the file name. It will work for you. Okay. So this is the very simple rule which you have to understand. So file with no public class can have any name which is mentioned in your class. Okay. And what is the last one? Last one is nothing but order of declaration. So always whenever you are writing any of the Java source file, first should be package, then import, then class. Okay, and inside class you can have all those, I mean, methods, okay, methods, variables, all those stuff you cannot make like this. I mean, you first package class import, you cannot have. If you do this, your compilation will fail. Okay, so let's try to do this here. I'll try to do this. So we'll go here, package. Let's try to put this package at the end. See, is it working? It's not working. See, full red. Okay, so similar to this, if I want to have some import, let's try to create one import. How to create an import? I'll import some class from somewhere else. Okay, suppose string. So what is this is your import. So let's try to put this before package. Is it working? It's not working. Okay, so always your structure should be how? First package, then import, then inside class. In inside class you can have all those variables and methods. Okay, now last thing which we have to understand over here is, okay, so can I remove this variable and put here? And if I'll put here, can I put it? Got it? What I meant to say is, I'm not declaring the variable on the top. I am writing the variable at the last. Is it correct? Yes, no problem. I mean, it should be inside class. Got it, right? So variable declaration, method declaration, order will not matter. When it is compiled, automatically it will be generating some bytecode, which from there it will take care of, basically. Okay, so you can, but it is best practice. We should write the variable on the top. Then you will have some sort of analysis that these are the variables I am using. If I write some variables here, then here some variables here, then what will happen? People will not be able to understand. Are you able to understand? Here number of legs, then running, it is over there somewhere down the line. Okay, so it is best practice. What we should do, we should write all those variables on the top. All the variables we should write on the top. Then you will be, but it is not illegal. It is not illegal. You can write anywhere in your class. So that is the thing which we have seen over there is a Java source file declaration rule. So package, import, then class. Based on the previous discussion, can you tell me? I mean, dog is a class, noun, so class. Okay, get balance, method, verb plus something, so method. Calculate interest, method. Runnable, interface, able is there. Okay, animal, class. Serializable, interface. My weight, variable name. Yesterday we discussed, right? So because my is not a verb, okay, so it is a meaningful name, so it would be a variable name. Max limit, constant. Full capital means constant. Okay, so these are things which you should know. Okay, yeah. Now let's try to understand modify. Okay, so what is modifier? Okay, so sometimes what we write, we suppose I am writing on variables on in test static, something like this. Okay, so what is test? Test is an identifier. What is int? Data type. We call this as a data type. Okay, so typically we will have this first your variable name. Before that, what will be the data type, and apart from this, whatever things will be there before that, all are called modifiers. Okay, so typically your syntax will be something like this: modifiers, then data type, then variable name. Okay, now modifiers can be divided into two parts. Okay, one is called access modifiers, okay, second one is called non-access modifiers. There are two types of modifiers. One is called access modifier, another is called non-access modifiers. So access modifiers are private, then default. We'll see that default or package specific. Third one is your protected, okay, and last one is your public. So these are called access modifiers. What are non-access modifiers? Static, okay, then final, then we will study one of those modifiers called volatile, okay, then transient, which we'll see in our serialization deserialization, strict FT. So these are non-access modifiers. Then we have seen to the abstract. Abstract is also one of those non-access modifiers. Okay, so yeah, we'll look into that in next tutorial. Okay, so you go to this Java T point, open it, and where you click core Java, okay, and you will find somewhere, I mean, do you have modifier or something? Let's search it. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, so just go through these once before and next tutorial. Okay, then what will happen, you will be able to understand in better way. Full go through this one, or you can go through that book also, SCJP book. You just understand all those access modifiers. So what is the plan for next access? Okay.